Welcome to AVI News, Sustainable Development Goals, Weekly News Digest. Ministry to create ecotourism site inside protected areas. ACB call for protection of wetland in ASEAN and beyond. Rare sandbars found in Cambodia. European Commission may add natural gas, nuclear to green investments. Nature can help solve crisis with investment, joint report. White House offers states more than $1 billion to keep methane producing wells. Ice that took roughly 2,000 years to form on Mount Everest has melted in around 25. Ministry to create ecotourism site inside protected area. The Ministry of Environment is implementing a pilot project that involves the creation of ecotourism site inside the protected areas of the three provinces with the aim of having sustainable tourism developments. Pilot project, which is under Cambodia's Sustainable Landscape and Ecotourism Sustainability Project Framework, is designed to the province of Siem Reap, Kampong Speu and Koh Kong. The ministry's working group is holding consultative workshops with relevant officials and stakeholders in the province from January 30 to February 4th. The three protected areas are Prechei Voromanerodom National Park, Gulen Mountain, Phnom Aura Wildlife Sanctuary, and Central Cardamom Mountain National Park, and Tatai and Piem Krasop Wildlife Sanctuary. The main purpose of organizing the consultative workshop is to find out from stakeholders the strategic objective of regional ecotourism management and tourism investment planning for ecotourism destinations. ACB called for protection of wetland in ASEAN and beyond. The ASEAN Center for Biodiversity (ACB) called for the conservation and restoration of wetland across the ASEAN member nations and beyond, as Cambodia Ministry of Environment urged authorities to curb illegal activity affecting wetlands. To mark World Wetland Day on February 2nd, ACB Executive Director Teresa Mandita Lim said ACB joins the celebrations and the resounding call for the protection of wetland around the world. This year's theme is Wetland Actions for People and Nature, underlines the importance of wetland in sustaining the ASEAN's people health and livelihoods, she said in the press statement. She noted that more than 1 billion people in the world depend on wetlands for valuable economic activities such as irrigated rice farming, water provisions, energy sourcing, and tourism. Wetlands also play a significant factor in solutions to the climate change. Rare sandbars found in Cambodia. The good news was shared on February 3rd by the Ministry of Environment, adding that sandbars were found in protected areas of the country. The researchers from the Ministry of Environment have discovered them in Cambodia wildlife sanctuaries through camera traps. Sandbar, a large deer native to the Indian subcontinent, South China, and Southeast Asia, is listed as a vulnerable species on IUCN Red List since 2008. Its population has declined substantially due to severe hunting, local insurgency, and industrial exploitation of habitat. European Commission may add natural gas, nuclear to green investments. The European Commission on Wednesday started probing how natural gas and nuclear power could fit into its green investment on a limited basis, much to the chagrin of some environmentalists and its own members. The Commission will debate if both can be added to what is known as the European Union's taxonomy, which defines a sustainable investment in order to guide spending toward projects that are in line with the group's climate goals. Mairead McGuinness, the European Union Commissioner for Financial Services, Financial Stability and Capital Market, talked about how natural gas and nuclear work. Oh dear. Mairead McGuinness, the European Union Commissioner for Financial Services, Financial Stability and Capital Markets, talked about how natural gas and nuclear would fit into the EU Taxonomy Complementary Climate Delegated Act. The Advisory EU Platform on Sustainable Finance rejected the reasoning for adding natural gas, while anti-nuclear countries like Germany have pointed to the high cost of construction and dealing with nuclear hazardous radioactive waste. Nature can help solve crises with investment, joint report. The UN Environment Programme UNEP released a report on the state of finance for nature, finding an investment gap of 165 billion US dollar per year from G20 countries for nature-based solutions in order to meet currently agreed global targets by 2050. The biodiversity and climate finance gap are emphasized in the draft post-2020 Global Biodiversity Framework and the 2021 Glasgow Climate Pact. Nature-based solution refers to a range of actions that rely on investing in nature to resolve societal challenges. Nature-based solutions (NBS) can include, for example, improving carbon sequestration on agricultural lands and peatlands, restoring mangrove to defend against flooding, and protecting global biodiversity through forest and other land conservation. White House offers state more than 1 billion US dollar to cap methane producing wells. The Biden administration on Monday announced a series of measures aimed at reducing methane emissions, including more than 1 billion US dollar in state grants to clean up orphaned oil and gas wells. Under the program, the Interior Department will award 1.15 billion US dollar to 26 eligible states, collectively representing nearly every state with documented orphaned wells in the country, the White House said in the statement. Many of the orphaned wells identified as a major source of methane emissions are located in rural communities and communities of color that have suffered from years of divestment. According to the administration, the funding represents the first tranche of 4.7 billion US dollar earmarked for the purpose under the bipartisan infrastructure law passed last year. The EPA says about 40% of the nation's 2.7 million abandoned oil wells and 600,000 gas wells are unplugged, and they emitted an estimated 263,000 metric tons of methane in 2019. Other anti-methane measures will be taken by the Department of Energy, Transportation and Agriculture under the umbrella of Biden's U.S. Methane Emission Reduction Action Plan, which was first announced in November during the UN Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, Scotland. Ice that took roughly 2,000 years to form on Mount Everest has melted in around 25. The highest glaciers on the world's tallest mountain is losing decades worth of ice every year because of human-induced climate change, a new study shows. The findings serve as a warning that rapid glacier melt at some of the Earth's highest points could bring worsening climate impacts, including more frequent avalanches and a drying up of water sources that around 1.6 billion people in mountain ranges depend on for drinking, irrigation, and hydropower. Ice that took around 2,000 years to form on the South Pole glaciers has melted in around 25 years, which means it has thinned out around 80 times faster than it formed. While glaciers melt is widely studied, little scientific attention has been paid to glaciers at the highest point of the planet, the researchers argue in this study, published in Nature Portfolio Journal Climate and Atmospheric Science.